Michelle, I've got to jump in because this is critical.
Is this a call, ladies and gentlemen?
NBC News can now project
Pennsylvania.
Donald Trump will win in the state of Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes.
This is historic. Everything was about Pennsylvania. Everything from the beginning was about Pennsylvania.
The Democrats were in shock. They were used to having no competition when it came to a real ground game. They spent twice as much money and they got half the result that they got in 2020. The math doesn't lie. 141,000 Republicans back in 2020 requested a mail-in ballot and they never sent it back. Why would they? Nobody chased their ballots. Nobody went to their door and talked to them.
The Democrats continue to kick our butts on the mail ballot. All of our voters are susceptible to the perils of life on Election Day. This is what creates low propensity voters. A low propensity voter is somebody with a spotty voting record, to put it nicely. These are people that didn't show up. They mean well, they intend to vote, but guess what? Their kid gets sick, they get in a fender bender, they get called out of town for work, they have a family funeral.
We're matching the Democrat strategy. Get low propensity, unlikely voters that are aligned with us to request a ballot. Once they get the ballot, they're much more likely to vote, but we have to chase them.
A lot of the political consulting class, and Charlie and Tyler talk a lot about this, they talk about effort. They talk about activity. They don't talk about measurable results.
The Pennsylvania Chase had one objective: get Trump's mail-in vote share to 33%.
If you do that, Pennsylvania becomes competitive again, and we can beat the Democrats and flip PA red.
Well, I just want to thank you. We're here today because early voting begins in Pennsylvania over the next 2 weeks. And we need each and every one of you to go out. Just don't take anything for granted. We have to win Pennsylvania.
Between 2016 and now, how did Pennsylvania turn?
2020, we went from having what I would call normal elections to 50 days, 50 days of mail-in ballots.
So that means Pennsylvania would essentially be what he calls the tipping point state of the election.
So he even goes a level deeper on tipping. He says which state has the potential to tip the election. Pennsylvania has a 35% chance. No other state is even in the 20s. They're all in the low teens. This is where you win, and this is where you lose the White House.
Typical day for a ballot chaser.
Wake up at 7 a.m.
We have a team breakfast. We figure out what region of the area that we're in we're going to knock in.
We all hop in the car, drive to our book.
Knocking on as many doors as you can, doing as many books as you can, and reaching out to people as best as you can.
We talk to voters, try and convince them, work for about 4 hours, get ourselves a nice lunch break, huddle up.
Most of us really don't want to break because we're really passionate about this.
When you look at the chart, door knocking just crushes everything else. So 1 out of every 9 conversations that you have at the door, the left has done their research to show that is creating a new voter. Because obviously Republicans are going to show up on Election Day, Democrats are going to vote by mail. That's just the new trend and kind of the new culture. So 33%, we solved the whole problem. We win every statewide election. It's a done deal. Here's where we are. We're 27 days out. And I'm crisscrossing PA. I've been on the road now for 2 weeks. I feel like I've been in PA for 6 months. The only time I leave the state is, if I'm meeting with a donor or I have to go to an event. I think I've probably drank more coffee than I have in 5 years in the last 5 weeks. A medium iced coffee.
Any favorites?
Yeah, we'll do blueberry. It's a blueberry kind of day. Listen, do not knock the blueberry until you try it. How about Dalton? He wants a cappuccino, small. These are the people we hire thinking that they're going to save the country and they're ordering cappuccinos. Blueberry coffee is not the same level as a cappuccino. These are just facts. I mean, I'm going to work my tail off to get this thing fully funded, to get every single one of the 120 people we have on the ground fully sponsored.
Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Cliff Maloney.
Appreciate you guys having me, as always.
Who are you? What do you do?
Sure. My name's Cliff Maloney. I mainly focus on door knocking for America First and libertarian-type Republicans. And this cycle, I've been tapped to run the ballot chasing effort in Pennsylvania, something called the PA Chase.
A lot of people probably aren't aware of what PA Chase is doing and why it's so important. So we wanted him to come speak to us and just share a little bit about what you're doing. So welcome, Cliff.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys having me.
About a year ago, many of you heard this story. I get a phone call. Tyler Boyer and Charlie Kirk are reaching out and they say, Cliff, we need your help in Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania is my home state. It's where I'm from. My whole family is from Delaware County. And they said, we are analyzing all these swing states that have these new sets of rules. And a lot of them now allow for this chasing. Some of them it's harvesting. And we want to figure out how we can get you to take all of your apparatus of door knocking and go back to your home state and try to pull off the impossible, winning Pennsylvania.
I want to share this number with your fans, Austin. Nate Silver, whether you hate him, whether you love him, a good statistician, he puts out now that Pennsylvania is the top-ranked, most important state to win the election. He ranks it at 96.1% that if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he will be president.
I gotta be honest with you, I wouldn't be feeling good if you and your many patriots were not on the ground. This is maybe the most vibrant grassroots political operation, and certainly in the history of Pennsylvania, maybe in the history of the country.
Well, the PHA is doing what they've never been done before. They're beating the Democrats at their own game by being out there in the line of scrimmage, knocking on the doors, getting the absentee ballots in.
You know, I had somebody ask me yesterday, they said, if we win PA, you know, how much do you feel like the PA chase was the reason we won? And I say, look, I so appreciate the work that our activists are doing, but I have to give credit to all the partners. I mean, you've got people like Early Vote Action, which is Scott Presler's group, Turning Point Action with Tyler Boyer and Charlie Kirk. Just tremendous partners of ours, sharing data, using the same app, synergy. Everybody singing from the same song sheet.
Tell us what got you motivated enough to come out here and chase ballots in Pennsylvania.
Man, I just love to knock doors. Honestly, it's one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. So as soon as I heard, you know, we're gonna come out here in Pennsylvania and come do this, I was fascinated to be a part of something big.
In 2020, we all said the same thing. Let's vote on Election Day. It's the most secure way to vote. 2021, we all said, well, maybe the courts will fix it, please. No. 2022, at least in Pennsylvania, we were hoping the legislature would fix it. Not a chance. We lost our state house in 2022. So in 2023, we all get punched in the face. A lot of these elections specific to Pennsylvania, it was a bloodbath. And we all looked in the mirror and said, what are we gonna do?
I couldn't be happier hustling to these doors, talking to some of my former neighbors about the Pennsylvania chase and just running GOTV, good old get out the vote, reminding every single Republican what we need to do tomorrow.
I don't have a voice left. We're exhausted, we're tired, we're sleep deprived, but we've got 24 hours left until the polls close. I really think the 500,000 doors, we will hit that number tomorrow. I think it's gonna make the difference. I think we're gonna win PA, and when we win PA, we'll deliver a victory to President Trump.
I'm Congressman Scott Perry from Pennsylvania's 10th Congressional District. The PA Chase has been here making sure that all the voters, everybody's voice is heard.
PA Chase has been awesome for me. I think Cliff is an absolute genius putting this together, and PA Chase is going to make the difference in this election.
We're here way too late. We've got to get some sleep before tomorrow. It is the most important day. Our work is not done. It won't be done until the polls close at 8 p.m.
But I talked to a lot of Democrat, operatives and media people, and they're a little bit arrogant today. In fact, Jonathan Martin was on Morning Joe with this. He's never seen a ground game like the Democrats have had.
Every liberal activist from across the Northeast knocking on doors in Pennsylvania over the weekend, I think threatens to overwhelm the Republican ground game in that state. The sheer presence of ground soldiers in Pennsylvania on the Democratic side is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Lock it in. We have a major projection. CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is a huge, huge achievement for Donald Trump.
Fox News decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Charlie, let me give you credit from right here in Pennsylvania. You were the guy, you and Tyler, convinced me. You said, Cliff, stop door knocking across the country, go back to your home state, own Pennsylvania. That will be the deciding factor. I thought you guys were nuts. We knocked 500,000 doors, we delivered Pennsylvania, and now we've got our country back.
Let's do this, baby. Come on.
I just want to shout out Cliff. Cliff is the real deal. Cliff moved his whole energy back home to Pennsylvania.
NBC News, ABC News, and CNN have all called Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This election is over.
34%! Let's go!
We knocked 510,000 doors. Trump received 34.5% of the mail-in vote, and we delivered Pennsylvania.
I'll give you the final word just on what you were feeling at, what was it, like 3-something in the morning when we officially called it and he gave his speech. Because I can tell you, they saw how I was feeling up there. I was mocking the mainstream media. I was screaming, yelling, looking for a cocktail and drinking my liberal tears. I was loving it. How were you, sir, on Tuesday night?
Look, it was exhilarating. You know, when we set out to do this, to have the opportunity to come into Pennsylvania, to fix the mail-in vote problem, to be the state that, because Georgia and North Carolina were called, Pennsylvania, we delivered the win, which not only won Pennsylvania, but it put us over the edge in the White House.
Yep.
We just flipped the Senate seat. The 3 congressional districts we targeted, Dan, we won all of them.
Yes, congrats on down ballot. I forgot. Congrats on down ballot.
This is a proof of concept, right? We have to take this case study. Me, Scott, and Charlie, all of these great groups, we have to take this case study, and here's my charge or my request.
My question to you is simple. I'll ask it to everybody out there. When are we going to commit to a permanent infrastructure? We don't wait until 2028. We don't wait until 2026. We start in 2025 when the Democrats do. January 1, 2025, all of the mail-in ballot requests reset in Pennsylvania. What are you going to do? Are you going to come to PA, help us with the Pennsylvania chase, go out and work it the way Democrats do? If we are able to match their permanent infrastructure, we will shift all of these swing states to be permanently red.
We want to make Pennsylvania, this is my word to you here today, we want to make Pennsylvania the red wall, I'll use the left's words, make Pennsylvania the red wall that makes it so that Democrats cannot win another national election in my lifetime.
That's my question to you. Get involved right now. Don't wait 4 more years. Don't wait 2 years. 2025, there are battles to get involved with. We're going to match the Democrats. And it'll only happen if people like you step up and realize this is how we save America.